Hello there, everyone. Welcome to another video by me, Mr. Skizamanops. That's right, Mr. Skizamanops. So this isn't going to be like an introduction video to like the name change or anything like that. But I used to be known as Schism of Weed, and I wanted to take out the weed part and put in something else that would be potentially be advertiser friendly. That's pretty much the whole reason why I'd changed the name of the channel, but that's not really what I wanted to talk about. What I really wanted to talk about was where I've been, what I've been doing, what's been going on in my life, basically a little channel update, if you will. So let's just get straight into it. So when I left and I didn't do any more YouTube, and don't get me wrong, I never really had a really consistent upload schedule or anything like that on my channel, so this isn't really going to come out of the blue like, what? He was gone and now he's coming back? Yeah, I was gone, but now I'm coming back. Yeah, that is kind of what's going on, but it's not like any of you guys really cared. It's not like I'm a huge major channel. And at some point, I'd like to get my viewers up there and get my subscriptions all the way up to 1,000 so I could eventually start making money off this stuff. But anyway, regardless of all that, I don't really want to get into too many details on that. Basically, what I want to talk about is what's been happening in my life. I already told you that, so let's get into it. So, when I left, I had a perfectly good working computer, and I had the internet, and I had the ability to do videos and upload stuff. The only thing that I was missing was my actual camera, and I have it. It's actually right up here. It's right here. It was, at the time, it was in the pawn shop, and I also didn't really have a job, and I didn't have the ability to get it out of the pawn shop, and I didn't know when I was going to get it out of the pawn shop. But here's the camera I normally would use on my YouTube videos, and I also use my cell phone, which is exactly what I'm using now, my cell phone, to record this video right here, which is why the quality isn't quite as good. But again, getting off topic. So basically what ended up happening was it started to get a little bit warm, and then it started to get like really cold out. And what had happened was we had ended up getting like a really small, like a tail end kind of winter storm, if you will. It had a real big cold front coming in. It snowed a bunch, but it wasn't like enough to where it would stick on the ground and last forever. It would melt because it was warmer a few weeks ago before this cold front come in and did all that. And I'm talking about something that happened in May or something like that. I think it was in May or March, or I don't even, sometimes I get the months mixed up. But anyway, this was 2 months ago. So now, catch you up to speed, what had ended up happening now, if you didn't know, I got a bunch of cats. Okay, I got a bunch of cats. I got like 16, 20 cats. I got a bunch of them. I got even more now because the cats that I had before were pregnant and they had kittens. And now I got even more cats. But we're not keeping those. We're getting rid of them. We're going to take them to the auction or something and just put a sign on that says free. And have people just pick and choose whichever kittens they want, and they can take them and have them for free. Because we got way too fucking many. And the reasoning why we got to do that is because, for one, yes, we got too many, and another reason is because one of my other cats that I really like a lot ended up getting sick. He had an upper respiratory problem, and it was a really upper respiratory infection. And it wasn't like how we normally get as humans. We get an upper respiratory infection, and we can just go to the damn store and get some medicine for it and call it good. Well, we don't really have that kind of shit for cats. And when they end up getting a infection up in the respiratory area, it can get pretty bad, and it can smell really bad, and they can have just nasty stuff coming out of their mouth, and they can't breathe very well. So I had to take him to the vet, and he wasn't eating or drinking for like a whole week. For like 7 days he wasn't eating or drinking nothing. And so took him to the vet. They got him some fluids, and then I had to take him back to the vet a couple times and spent a bunch of money. I had to put a bunch of stuff in the pawn shop because, again, like I said, didn't have a job. And I ended up quitting from Walmart, like I've mentioned before on my channel. And yeah, it was just an all-around terrible thing. And then they had this winter cold front coming in with the snow and shit, making things even worse. And I was just all around feeling real depressed and just down. And I was almost certain, like almost a guarantee that cat was not going to make it. Even after I took him to the vet, like they gave us some antibiotics. Why the fuck is this not working? Sorry. So we went to the vet and gave him some antibiotics, and we can squirt in his mouth that he can drink. And I was doing that most of that, pretty much that entire week that he wasn't eating or drinking, and it ended up getting him better. He ended up starting to eat again, and he started drinking again, and now he's fine. But at some point during, actually, this is a very good date point for this, is when when this happened. But on the date of the eclipse, on the 8th of April, I think it was. Damn, it's crazy. It's been that long since, it's been pretty much a whole month since that's happened. But anyway, um, on the day of the eclipse, something happened to him, and I don't know what the fuck happened. I think he either got stung by a wasp and we never saw it, or just that upper respiratory infection ended up just doing something to him. I don't know what. But what ended up happening was he was on the ground, like all like clawing at his neck and clawing at his mouth and shit, like not being able to eat, and he wasn't drinking for a little bit that day. And he was on the ground, like twitching and shit, like almost like he was about to pass away right then and there, right in front of our eyes when we was watching him. But he pulled through it, and somehow now he's better than he ever was. He's playing, he's jumping around, he's catching bugs out there in the fucking yard and shit during the day, and he's great now. He's fantastic. Only problem is his neck's like crooked from where he was clawing at his neck, and I don't know what the fuck happened to him. I don't know why his neck is crooked like that. I do kind of want to take him back to the vet to have them properly look at him and try to see if they can find out what's wrong with his neck or whatever the fucking deal is. But anyway, thankfully, he's okay and he's not dying anymore from that upper respiratory problem that I mentioned. But in between me taking care of him and also something happened to my computer, like the whole week that he was sick, I was looking up certain vets, and then of course, usually, it's how my luck always usually goes. Usually, if there's something wrong with my cat, it's usually on the weekends when most of the vets are fucking closed. And I don't understand that bullshit. But anyway, I finally found one that was open on Saturdays. And thankfully, they were open on Saturdays because that was the one we took them to. And they were a lot cheaper anyway than the one I originally been taking them to in the first place. So that's a plus, too. So that's my main vet that I usually take my cats to now if anything goes wrong. And I actually wanted to make this like a podcast type thing, but I figured I might as well just make a video of it because I probably won't be talking for too terribly long. I could drag this out really long and have a whole bunch of details I could add onto all these stories, but I'm not going to do that shit. Anyway, this video is going to be long enough as it is. It's going to be well over 10 minutes. Might even be 15. You never know. I got a lot of stuff to talk about. I've been gone for a while, y'all. I've been gone for a while. Alright, so the next thing I want to talk about, so while my cat was in the process of getting better and in the process of still being sick, me myself being worried and not knowing what the hell's going to go on and not knowing if he's going to die or not, because I just worry like that, especially in the wintertime when I don't have a job and I don't have any money. I don't have anything to do. I don't have no way of taking care of a sick pet unless I like pawn everything I fucking own in order to get the bare minimum amount of money just to get him to the vet. And that's what I did. And I had to pawn my pistol. I had to pawn my chainsaw. Then I had to pawn another chainsaw, a real expensive one that's worth like $700 and some dollars. Brand new is how much it costs. So I had to pawn all that stuff. And then on top of that, borrow money from one of my family members to even have enough money to get him into the vet the very first time. And I had to take him in the second time to get him some more fluids because he wasn't eating or drinking. And thankfully, I ended up taking him back there the second time, because if I didn't take him back there the second time, he might not have made it. Well, he might have made it because he still had the antibiotics I was giving to him every day. But still, he really needed them extra fluids because, like I said, he wasn't eating or drinking any water for a few days in a row. And if you know anything about animals, especially cats, they might be real resilient of being able to deal with that type of shit. But with him being sick like that and him not drinking any water, I was real fucking concerned. I thought he could have died at any moment, at any time, because he was dehydrated and not drinking. So what they do is you go into the vet and they give him what is known as sub-Q fluids, which is fluids. They poke a needle underneath their skin and they put a bubble of fluids underneath their skin, kind of in their back or their neck area. And what that does is that will eventually, over time, soak into their body and soak into their organs, lubricate their organs and stuff like that, and kind of cool off their organs and make them feel better, basically. Give them fluids inside their body. So I had to do that at least twice to him. But anyway, throughout that process, waking up in the morning, being worried as hell that he ain't looking any better than he was the next day, I go to turn my computer on one morning, and sometimes, so ever since I bought the computer in 2019, every now and then it would have this weird pixelated, I don't even know what it was, but it was this weird pixelated screen that would come across my monitor, and it would completely freeze my PC, completely like crash it, and I couldn't move my mouse, I couldn't type nothing on the computer, Control Alt Delete, none of that shit would work. So I had to physically press the top of the power button on top of the computer, wait for it to turn off, hold it for 10 seconds, wait for it to completely turn off, turn it back on, and pray and hope the damn thing still works again. I've had to do that at least, I'd say 4 or 5 times at the most throughout its entire lifespan since I bought it in 2019. And the way that the computer is, it's a fairly decent computer. There shouldn't be no issues like that ever happening, and I finally found out what was wrong with it. The motherboard was completely shot, basically completely fucked. From the get-go, from when I bought the damn thing, it was basically a faulty motherboard. It was a faulty computer from the get-go. It was eventually, at some point, end up going to do that. Anyway, it was going to die, basically. And I'm surprised that I ended up getting 5 years out of it. So I guess I consider $100 a year on that computer, because I spent about $500 on it. So about $100 a year. I don't know. I'd say that's kind of worth it for the price that I paid for it. But wait until I get into about how much the damn thing is going to cost to get fixed. It's going to cost about double about how much I paid for the damn thing to get it fucking fixed. So I took it to the computer store that we have here. I paid him the $45 to run the diagnostic on the computer, find out if there's any damage, find out what was wrong with it. Because I thought my hard drive was just broken. Because what had happened was I turned it on, or turned it off from the pixelated situation, turned it back on really quick. And I know you're not supposed to turn your computer off and then turn it back on real quick like that. It's not good. I know it's not really good at all. It kind of can... That right there can cause more problems to the damn thing than anything. So, me being frustrated about my cat, I did that, turned it off, turned it on real quick, and then it said that the system, something inside the computer was not properly turned off, and it wouldn't even boot up to like the normal Windows screen to where I can log in and look at all my stuff and all that shit. It just said that something was not properly turned off, and I cannot run your damn Windows program. So it just turns itself off. It'll turn on, say that for about a minute and a half, and then turn itself off. So I basically ruined my computer. So like I said, I took it into the computer store to find out what was wrong with it. They told me that I need a new hard drive. The hard drive was a mechanical hard drive, and something went wrong when I turned it on and off. It completely fucked that up. And my motherboard was screwed up somehow. And I think, like I said, I think that was something that was already intentionally messed up from when I originally bought it in the get-go from in 2019. So to try to make the story a little bit shorter with my computer, they said it's probably going to cost you about $500 to $600 for a new motherboard, and about another $360 for a goddamn new hard drive. And they said altogether it's probably going to cost you about $950, $960 to do all that. And they said that's not even worth doing on that computer because, like you said, it's a cheap $500 computer. So I took the loss. I said, fuck it. I got about as much as I could out of it for what I bought it for anyway. So I took it home, plugged it back in to see if it would actually kick up again and see if it would work. Clearly it wouldn't because they didn't do anything to it. They just ran the test on it. So I took it, tossed it off the top story, landed on the concrete. It's all dented, fucked up, broken out, sitting outside in the goddamn tub. So I don't have a computer no more. Long story short, I don't have a goddamn computer no more to make videos, edit videos, and do live streams. Only thing I have is my cell phone. I could do live streams on my cell phone, which isn't going to be great. I might not even do that at all because I think I just tried to do that earlier to do this whole thing. I was going to do it in a podcast, do it live and all that stuff. And I didn't do it because I don't like the way that the phone does live streams. Anyway, what I can do is I can do YouTube shorts. I've been kind of doing them here and there, but I haven't really been actively at it like I should have been every single day. I always say that like I want to build up my YouTube channel, but I'm not actively making videos and making content. But the thing is, I got to have the right equipment. I got to have a PC. I got to have editing software. I got to have all these things in order for me to make really great quality videos, the videos that I really want to make, the videos that I think will do well on my channel. So I don't want to just pump out garbage just for the sake of just pumping out video. Like I said, that's not what my channel is going to be about. That's not what Mr.Skizamanops is about. I really like that name. I'm really glad I changed the name. It's about time for me to move on from the whole Skizmaweed thing. I've had that Skizmaweed name since 2009, 2008, something like that. And it really is about time to put that name to rest and start over new. Just do something brand new, start over fresh. And that's exactly why I changed the name. So eventually I'm going to come out with an actual, like a full-scale video of my introduction to this channel and all that stuff. This video is going to be long as hell, so you're going to have to worry. You're just going to have to deal with that shit. I've been away for quite some time, and I'm not even done talking with all the stuff I really wanted to talk about. So let's get into the next thing I want to talk about. Is all that talk about me not having a job, being depressed, and all that stuff. So before my computer got shut down, before my computer got destroyed, or my computer destroyed itself, however you want to see that, I was constantly on there filling out applications for jobs. I had put in applications for the old jobs that I did, and I even put in a new application for Walmart again. Of course, they declined my shit, so whatever. Fuck Walmart. I don't want to go back there and work there ever again anyway. And I put an application in Lowe's, and I didn't finish it because there was something on there talking about how there was, I don't really know, it was a money issue thing, and I didn't really want to continue to fill out the application, but they kept sending me emails. Hey, you want to finish your application? I said, all right, fine. I need a job. I'll finish the damn Lowe's application. You keep bothering me with it. So obviously you clearly need somebody. So that's kind of what I was looking for. I didn't want to go through all that process of filling out all these applications and pray and hope that one of these guys needs an employee so they can hire me. I mean, that's kind of the point of putting in so many applications, is so that can happen, so somebody can find you and you can get hired. But they wanted me to finish the app, So I finished the fucking app. They called. I went and did the interview, and I got the job. Now, the original application I applied for was the stocking and loading that position. But she said that for some reason they said they didn't have any stocking or loading positions that they had available right now at this time. And I think that was a bunch of fucking lies just to get me to do this other fucking bullshit that they got me doing now. Because if they didn't have any of those positions open, then why the fuck was that application on the apply list for Lowe's? If you didn't have any of those positions open, you know what I'm saying? Like, where's what the fuck? Somebody's lying somewhere about that. Anyway, they offered me a loader position, a loader and cart collector. It was basically I go out and get the damn carts at Lowe's every single day. And it isn't too bad of a job, but it's kind of sucky because I'm out there gathering carts. I told myself I'd never gather carts again after I worked at Dillon's, which is the store that sells the Kroger brand items. But yeah, I was working for that store for a little bit at the beginning of 2023 before I got the job at Walmart. And I was getting paid fucking pennies on the dollar. I was getting paid like $12 or some shit an hour, which was garbage for that hard ass fucking work gathering carts. But now at Lowe's, I'm getting paid $14.09, $14.10, something like that an hour. So I'm getting enough, and then of course they pay just about the same amount length time. They pay every 2 weeks, so I get a check every single 2 weeks instead of every 1 week. And my last check was about $878, was close to $1,000, but I did have a bunch of hours that were taken off because being in Kansas, being in springtime, I have a bunch of thunderstorms, and there was a fucking tornado freak a few weeks ago, and then they shut the store down and nobody could get back inside. I was on my lunch. I tried to get back inside. They wouldn't let me back in there after I got on my lunch. I said, fuck it, I'm going home. Big ass tornado coming. I'm getting the fuck out of here. So I got about 4 hours that was missing off of my check on the last check. And then I also had some missing hours too because I went home an hour early, like 2 or 3 different days in a row. Because sometimes I could gather a bunch of carts and there ain't nothing for me to do. And I'm kind of new there, so they haven't really taught me about a lot of different things that I could be doing when I don't have any carts to get. But now I can do some other things if I don't have any carts to get. But regardless of that, I don't really want to talk about me doing the job. I just want to talk to you guys and say, hey, I finally got a job. I finally have the ability to get me a new computer. Finally have the ability to make more money, and I'm never going to quit this job until I get a new job, something that might be paying more or be better in general for me. And again, I want to apologize for this video being so goddamn long. I wasn't expecting it to be this long, but hey, I've been gone for quite some time, and I got a lot to talk about. So another thing that I want to talk about is the computer again. So I am going to get another computer, but what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to save up 2 checks worth. That's going to be a whole month of working in order for me to get a good, beefy ass, badass fucking computer, and it's going to cost me about $1,100 in order for me to get a really good, something that I can game on, because I want to get something that I can play games on too. A really good, high quality computer that I can play nice 4K badass looking games on. 240 frames a second type shit. I want to play Warzone on a really good computer. So that's kind of what I want to do. But that's not the only game I want to play on the computer. That's not the only reason why I want to get it. I want to get it so I can play some really good, high quality games and also be able to edit videos, be able to do really high quality live streams without having to worry about my system not having enough power, not having enough high quality parts in it to where I can really do these great high quality streams. And then all around, just in general, good content creation, ability to do a lot of good content creation, and with the best quality that I can fucking produce, within the best internet that I got. And I got some pretty damn good internet, so all I need is a beefy ass computer to optimize all this shit to where I can get it going, and then we'll be back on track again. But There's a few other things that I want to talk about real quick before I end the video. And this is something that happened today. As of me recording this video, this happened today. So I've never really owned a motorcycle. I've never really owned well, I have owned a dirt bike. I guess I have owned a motorcycle, but I did when I was really, really young, when I was about 10, 12 years old, something like that. I had a Yamaha 100. It was a badass bike. But unfortunately, I had to get rid of it because of some complications with a family member. Ended up getting on it and then getting hurt. And I had to get rid of it because we was afraid that was probably going to happen to me, or somebody was going to sue, all this other weird shit. That, again, that's not really what I want to get into at the end of the video. What I really want to talk about is where I work at Lowe's. They have these little miniature dirt bikes. They're not really miniature where they're tiny, but they're medium size, decent size. And they had one there that I've had my eye on for quite some time, a few weeks now. But of course, my very first full paycheck, I had to spend most of that to get my chainsaw, my gun, and all this other stuff out of the pawn shop. So I couldn't really go all out and spend all my money really at one time. But with my next check coming up, I said, hey, you know what? I don't really have any major expenses that I got to spend this money on. So I think I might splurge a little bit. I might actually buy this bike because I haven't had one for over 20-something years and for a really long time. And my cousin had a four-wheeler one time, and I loved it. And I'd really like to get back into riding those motorbikes again, and those little miniature bikes, and in general dirt bikes. Well, I knew that something was going to screw me over out of getting this fucking dirt bike, because they did have it for sale, and they did have it for anybody to have their ability to get it. But nobody was going to buy it. And I saw these two fucking idiots over there today, nosing about, looking at it, and sitting on the bench right next to it. And as I'm outside gathering carts, I keep looking over there. You know, and I'm an employee there, so I should have fucking went over there and asked them if they needed any help, which I didn't. I should have, but I didn't. That's not really my job title. I'm not really not that I'm not supposed to do that. I can, but it's not really what I'm there for. I'm there to gather carts, so I don't really give a fuck about that shit, you know? If I can avoid as many customers as I possibly can, that's great for me, you know? I don't want to have to deal with customers, but at this particular moment in time, I probably should have, because these people, what I thought were going to buy this bike, they didn't. And I don't know how the fuck they ended up shimmying this cable off of the frame of this thing, but there's this protective cable that goes through all of the lawnmowers that are outside, and any of the any of that stuff that they're selling that's sitting outside in the open for anybody to just snatch and grab and go. They have this giant cable wire coming through it with a lock and chain basically on it, so you can't just grab it and go, because it's connected to all the other lawnmowers, connected to all the other shit that's sitting there, and there's a bunch of other stuff sitting there. Well, somehow these fucking people were able to jimmy this goddamn this cable off of this thing. Now, I don't know if the employees come up to them and actually unlocked it for them and went inside and let them do whatever the hell they want, because I didn't get the full scope of exactly what happened. All I know is people come out, the employees come outside to help these guys get this fucking chain off of here or whatever the hell happened. All I know is I look over there one moment, they were there. And I look back, go inside, do my work, come back outside, and they're gone. The bike is gone, and I'm just like, oh shit. Somebody must have come out and locked it for them, and they went inside to go pay for it. No. What had happened is they somehow got that wire, that thing off of there, picked that motherfucker up, put it in the back of a truck, and took the fuck off with it. Yeah, right in the middle of Lowe's, right in the middle of the daytime. This is like fucking like 6:30 in the afternoon. It's still sunny out. There's people all over the fucking place. Somehow these people are able to jimmy this fucking cable off of this thing, pick it up, put it in a fucking pickup truck, and take the fuck off with it. This thing costs $799. It's almost $1,000. $800 is how much it costs. And I was gonna spend every fucking bit of my check on it. Well, I get more than $799. The reason why I won't even wanted to buy it in the first place. But regardless of that, I was going to spend most of my check on this bike. I was loving it. I was like, man, this is going to be so cool. I'm going to have this bike. I'm going to be able to ride around in my backyard, all this cool shit. Have all these fucking things that I want to do with this thing. And now, these fucking degenerates come over here, jimmy this fucking thing off of there, put it back in the truck and take off. It's fucking like, this is the type of shit that I gotta fucking deal with in this fucking bullshit city. On top of that, I have this situation with my grandpa, which I don't know if I want to make any videos on this or not, because it's not really a topic that I really want to put out there for the public to really know about. At some point later on, when my grandpa passes away, I'll end up coming out with a video on this and go through all the reasons why I haven't really been doing YouTube for a really long time like I really should have been anyway in the first place. There's a lot of things in my life that have fucked up and have put me down, down, down so far, so low that it's so hard to kind of bounce back from that. But I'm trying and I'm getting there. At some point, things are going to be going so good for me and the family and everything like that. It's going to be so great. But I've been sitting here talking with you guys for about 31 minutes, 27, 28 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever. I've been talking for way too goddamn long. This is going to be an extremely long video. I don't expect anybody to actually get all the way to the end of this video, but if you did, I appreciate you listening to me bicker and bitch about all this stuff. But let me just go ahead and end with this. As far as the bike goes, the motorbike, the dirt bike, and all that stuff, I still haven't given up on that. But here's kind of going to be the closer for the video. So, what I'm going to have to do now, since somebody stole the bike that I was going to buy, because I'm not giving up on getting this fucking bike. I haven't had one for so many years. I want one. I want one so bad that I'm going to buy one. Okay, and it's not even a question. I'm going to fucking buy one. But what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to save this check, most of this check, the majority of it, save it, work for another fucking 2 weeks, get another full paycheck, combine those two paychecks together, and then go to the Cycle Zone where they sell real professional, like high grade, high quality dirt bikes and four-wheelers, and they have all different sizes and stuff. And I'm going to pick me one out. And I'm hoping that I can find one under $1,000. If I can find one under $1,000, that would be great. Or if I can find one right around $1,000, because I'm going to have more than 1,000, that'd be even better. I want something that's really cool, really fun, really fast. And yeah, that's pretty much going to be it. Now, the computer, that's going to have to wait for a whole month, because like I said, I want to get this fucking bike first. I want to have some fun. I want to enjoy the fruits of my labor from working at this jam job, pushing these goddamn carts every day in the hot sun and the heat and shit. It's terrible. I hate doing it, but the job will pay off eventually if I can finally get my hands on one of these fucking bikes so I can just, in general, have some fucking fun. Like, because the whole time I worked at Walmart, almost every one of my paychecks went into this goddamn building that you see here. I bought sheetrock, I bought all this other shit, I bought insulation, I bought stuff for the inside of this crawl space in here, which you can't even look at. I spent like $70 on that shit. But yeah, man, it's been one hell of a fucking process of doing all this stuff, getting it done, buying all these things. And now I finally want to actually enjoy something, I want to get something fun and enjoy life. And not only that, once I get the dirt bike, I can then do more videos and upload videos on YouTube and do all that cool shit, So, anyway, I tried to do things the slow and fast, easy way, but unfortunately, these motherfuckers just don't give up. They want to make things extremely difficult for a real motherfucker like me to actually have fun, man. And it's fucking dumb, man. It's so dumb. Can't believe that people are able to just walk up to a Lowe's store, and just take something and just put it in the back of their truck and just take the fuck off with no consequences at all to ever, like, what the fuck, man? But anyway, that's going to be the end of this video. It's been a long ass video, but I appreciate you guys sticking by. And I will see you in the next one. Don't know when it's going to be, don't know what it's going to be, but it's going to be something. So stick close, because we're going to be out here doing it.